The way I feel when I'm working. That's a good. I need to think about that some before I really answer that question. If I want to answer it truthfully, I could make up some shit, you know. But if you want a true answer, I need to think about that because when I'm working, it's not so. I'm not so concerned about how I'm feeling. It's almost as though, you know, I'm just trying to be a good conduit. I know that when I'm not a good conduit, I know that I feel frustration, you know. But when I am being a good conduit, I don't know. I can't. I'm not exactly sure how to describe what I feel. What I want to channel, what I want really want to channel, is my ancestors. You know, I really want to. I really want to speak for for them, or I want them to. Uh, I want them to know uh, that I know they exist, that I know of their existence, you know, and I want them to know that they have projected out into the future, you know, their their being. Um, so I try to do that in my work. I don't know that it happens or whatever, and 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 I don't know what that uh, in reality. I don't know what that looks like, but I know what I just know how I imagine it, and I try to incorporate something of that in just about everything that I do, uh, so that so hopefully by the time I'm done with my work, and when I say done with my work, by the time I'm I join the ancestors, you know, I will I will have contributed something, you know, that has something that is older than I am, you know, and something that can project into the future possibly. We see multiple worlds at all the time. I'm talking about African Americans see multiple worlds at once. Everything they look at, they have. It's like it's key to our survival to be aware. That is one of the reasons why I always make that stare, that seeing, to denote that all is seen. I don't really think of them as portraits. They are just people who are familiar, but some of them are actual, are I guess actual ancestors. You know, like the one that's over there in the green hat. It's image of Zora Neale Hurston. Her writing, you know, was about the people in her community, the people around, and she expanded that community to include the the African diaspora, and she went to school to study anthropology in order to learn more about the communities and her and about her people, because in because in anthropologic studies we were routinely ignored, and belittled, and we were, you know, only viewed in the realms of eugenics, and any anthropology was only done to support those ideas and those views. So she really wanted to study the culture, you know, that we practiced, that we lived by, and she was not really respected as an anthropologist. She died really poor. Uh, Her papers and her works were almost discarded. Many of them were discarded. Uh, but she has had a huge impact on uh, on people who came along a generation after her. Alice Walker, her works influenced by Zora Neale Hurston. Toni Morrison's works influenced by Zora Neale Hurston. But Zora Neale Hurston never got to see any of that. I want her to know that that her work was impactful on me, that her work made a difference in my life and the way that I view the world and the way that I view the people around me and my community, and value and added value, to uh, to my community. And so that piece of Zora there, it functions as a piece, that is about and for ancestors. But they're not portraits. They're and even the one that's over there of Zora, even though it looks like her, it's not a portrait. I started doing artwork before I started school. I just, drew and made stuff and that kind of thing. And I always knew that that was a huge part of the way that I connected to the world and understood the world. And I've always felt that that was my most effective way of communicating. I grew up in South Georgia, a really small town. I guess maybe around 13, 1,500 people. People had an appreciation that that's what I did, and that was a part of and that was a part of how they knew who I was, through my art, through the things that I make, and through that part of me. People always in that community where I grew up, people always knew that about me, and that is I've always appreciated that. I would go from drawing with charcoal from the fireplace in the house, drawing with that, to drawing in the dirt outside. And I didn't really see that as the as being so different. One being so different from the other. What was important was that I was making that mark. And the only reason I'm not doing that is that there's something that's keeping me from doing it. Otherwise, I'm always doing that. I'm always drawing, I'm always carving, always making something, doing something, or I'm thinking about it. The things I gravitate toward most, I guess, are the things that I don't recognize at first. If or things that are doing something that I didn't expect, or kind of surprised me in a way. When I walk through the woods, which is something I love to do, the shapes of certain branches, that do a certain thing, it's like that, that attracts me. Even a particular sound in the forest may attract me. And I just enjoy that little bit of simple novelty, a shape that can be multiple things, a shape that can be this or that, or a shape that you need some context in order to understand what that shape is. That shape can change with context of adding of other objects or other ideas with it. I'll put it like this. You need the power of another word to activate the word that you put forth at first. You need modifiers, adjectives. You need those in there to add clarity, to add emphasis. And there's an abundance of material wherever you go. It's like so much, because all you have to do is walk outside here, and there are branches, trees, and things, and dirt, and things you can find on the. So there's always material to work with, and what is not plentiful is time. When the work is being shown, I have to stop working and get it up there. So that changes it right there, you know, because the people coming to see it are going to have certain expectations, you know, and have certain expectations of me. So I have to prepare. I have to stop the growth of the work while it is being exhibited. Like I said, I've been doing this since before I started the school. So I don't attribute the way I think about artwork to school or anything. I attribute it to the way I grew up, to the community, folks around me. That's where this way of thinking came from, and in going to school, I didn't lose it. I feel like I didn't change it. I feel like my advice to a young artist might sound really dated and antiquated in a way, because I believe that artists, a young person who wants to be an artist has to spend time with people outside of their age if you wish to learn to interpret the world that's around you, because those people are always around you. You know, those people are there. You can't, and if you ignore them, your view of the world is going to be flawed. You know, if you cannot communicate with them, your view of the world is going to be, your communication is going to be flawed. I feel like I was lucky in that I had people in my life who were of those varying generations, and they have helped me be able to understand the things that I want to do with my artwork.